Have you ever dragged yourself through a workday feeling like a zombie because you couldn't fall asleep the night before? Between 50 and 70 million Americans struggle with sleep disorders, wreaking havoc on their work performance, focus, memory, and productivity. As a legal exec, it's super important that the little sleep that I do get is quality and that I'm able to shut my brain off quickly and go to sleep as fast as possible. So I want to share a few things that I do that actually help me sleep a lot quicker. That way, if I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep, maybe I'm getting less, I'm able to make the most of it. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is one of the simplest things that most people do not do, and I'll tell you why it's so important, but it's just getting a sleep schedule. Maybe you've heard the term circadian rhythm and you thought it was a Bruno Mars song, but nah, it's actually your body's internal clock, and it's really important. Research shows that consistent sleep and wake-up times stabilize our circadian rhythms, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up naturally. Think of it as programming your body's natural alarm clock. I always thought that as long as I got 8 hours of sleep, then I'd be good. It didn't matter when I got it, but apparently it does. A new study posted by the National Library of Medicine found that irregular sleep patterns can negatively affect the body's metabolism, which can control how we function and use energy. But if you're going to bed consistently at 9 p.m., which I do, which don't judge me, I'm getting old now, but as long as I get to bed at 9 o'clock, my body knows that it's time for bed. And around 8 o'clock, I'm winding down. I look like a grandpa with a robe on and some tea and just looking like it's my younger self would be laughing at me. But my younger self was pulling all-nighters and relying on Red Bull and felt like shit for the next 2 days afterward. And honestly, I prefer going to bed early on weekends too, because I could actually wake up on Sunday and get a lot done instead of going out getting drunk, ruining that day, having it roll over into Monday or Tuesday, and I just got nothing done. I guess I kind of think of this as like making an appointment for my bed, which sounds weird, but just knowing that by 9 p.m. you are going to be in bed, and so the hour or two leading up to that, you are winding down and doing all those things in preparation for that. And even though it's 9 p.m., once you actually get to bed, you fall asleep so quickly because your body's just prepared for it. That way I wake up early, refreshed and energized, and I go into my next thing, which is I get regular exercise every morning. Obviously, there's so much science about how exercise helps your body and makes you feel good and this and that, and totally true, but it definitely helps you sleep fast as well. According to experts at Johns Hopkins University, regular physical activity can significantly improve the quality of your sleep, especially when it comes to deep sleep stages. The more you exercise, the more profound the sleep benefits are, but the catch is you gotta do it early in the morning. I recently read a study where participants exercised for 30 minutes a day on a treadmill at either 7 a.m., 1 p.m., or 7 p.m. And it was concluded that those who worked out in the mornings slept longer and experienced deeper sleep cycles. When I used to go to the gym after work at like 7 p.m., when I got into bed, my mind was racing and it was so hard to fall asleep and I couldn't. But working out first thing in the morning has been so great because you wake up feeling energized and refreshed, and you could hit the gym as hard as you want, and it's that momentum that carries you through the day and it helps you be productive, and then by the time you get home, you're exhausted. And just like a consistent sleep routine, a consistent exercise routine is important to have. And it's important to monitor how your sleep patterns in your body respond to various exercises. Personally, I know that I get the most tired on leg days. There's something about working out my legs where I am just so exhausted by the end of it. So on days that I know that I have to be absolutely on it, I make sure that morning that I'm doing leg day or I'm running or just doing something where I'm working out my lower body. The next thing that's helped me a ton is just getting natural sunlight every day. I didn't realize before how much the sun plays a fundamental role in regulating our sleep patterns. According to Stanford Medicine, light is considered the major stimulus that helps our bodies understand when we do certain activities. Sunlight basically tells people that it's time to wake up and start the day. If you're watching this from Alaska, I don't know how you do it. This is so important if you work in an office because natural sunlight synchronizes that circadian rhythm of yours, and when you're working in an office with artificial lights, it just gets it thrown off. I noticed that when I was spending 10, 12 hours a day in a dimly lit room just glued to a screen all day, that my sleep was just completely erratic, and I was finding myself going to bed at like 2 a.m. And I noticed that when I structured my routine to make sure that I was going outside and getting sunlight during breaks, that I was sleeping a lot better. Also, by working out first thing in the morning, the sun just comes out when I'm done, and I'm able to take a lap around the neighborhood and get my sunlight at that time. And it's a double win because sunlight is a natural mood booster thanks to vitamin D, which enhances your cognitive function. So you get to work and you're actually stoked to be there and you want to get work done. I was trying to make it a point to work near windows where I could benefit from sunlight throughout the day, or I could lift up the blinds and I don't have to have the lights on in the office. Some people think I'm a vampire, but the only thing I'm sucking up is vitamin D, baby. The next thing I did was set up my room to make it so there's as little light as possible. I optimized my room so once I'm in there, my body just automatically thinks that it's lights out. When you do this, it's a lot easier for your body to produce melatonin, which is crucial for your sleep-wake patterns. Melatonin is actually the only known hormone synthesized by the pineal gland and is released in response to darkness, hence the name hormone of darkness. And the biggest thing that our modern ancestors didn't have to deal with that is debilitating us is screens. I don't know what the stat is, but I'm sure there's a TV in most bedrooms. Those lights that are emitting from those screens, the TV, the phone that you're looking at right now as you're laying in bed trying to fall asleep, it's all tricking your brain to tell you that it's still daylight. And I learned this the hard way to the point where I had to just remove my TV and my phone from my room altogether. I got so used to falling asleep with the TV on, and I would set a timer and try to fall asleep that way, and my sleep just wasn't that great. Even if I had gotten 8 hours of sleep or more, my brain just knew. It was just doing something in the background while I was sleeping. And I don't think it was the noise coming from the TV, but just the light emitting from it. So once I swapped that out with a white noise machine, my sleep has just become so much better. I also implemented a sleep curfew. So as I said, I go to bed at 9 p.m. So by 8:30, I don't have phones on me. When people call and text me and they're wondering why I'm not responding to them, like, chill out, bro. I also do my best to avoid blue light while I wind down and expose myself to warm light. The most helpful thing I've done here is just swapping out the light bulbs in my bathroom and bedroom for ones that are around 3000 Kelvin. I think the best investment you can make for your room outside of nice sheets and a mattress is blackout curtains. That way your room is dark 24/7, and if you work night shifts, you can actually come home and actually make your body think that it's nighttime. It's also really helpful for the months where the sun rises at earlier times, so your body's not trying to figure out what time it is, or if you're in a different time zone. It all comes down to creating that environment where once you step into that room, you just want to go to sleep. The next thing I do that might seem minor, but you're probably not doing it, is turning your clock around. I feel like it's a pretty normal thing to have a clock near you when you're sleeping, right? It's pretty handy. However, research at the University of Indiana has revealed that watching the clock while trying to fall asleep actually exacerbates insomnia. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're stressed out thinking if you're gonna be able to fall back asleep, watching the minutes tick by, and you start calculating how much sleep you'll end up getting if you go to sleep right now or in 30 minutes, and it just sucks. It activates your brain and body in ways to counteract your sleep, and I find myself just tossing and turning, not being able to sleep the rest of the night, or I go and break my rule and I go and I get my phone and I'm just trying to kill time or try to find ways to fall asleep, and I end up not falling back asleep at all. And it's the exact kind of stress that you got to avoid. What's worked best for me is just not having any clocks directly in eyesight of my bed or within arm's reach. Not having that convenience of being able to look at my phone or an alarm clock at my nightstand or at the wall. I just don't have the need to get up to see what time it is. I'd rather lay in bed and go back to sleep than have to get up in the middle of the night. Once I got intentional and I realized that getting good quality fast sleep is more than just closing your eyes and just hoping for the best, is when things just really got good for me. There's also a breathing exercise called the 4-7-8 technique that I use regularly, and I made a dedicated video just for that a while ago, so I didn't put it in this video, but it's in the description if you want to click that and watch that one next. I encourage you guys to try these strategies, tweak them, and just observe the benefits for yourself. It's just a reminder that how small, silly adjustments that seem like no-brainers could actually make such a huge difference. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. I have a ton of videos. I make new videos every week, and I would love to have you. Maybe share this with a fellow insomniac and see what happens. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Later!
You silly sleepyhead, wake up!